Hi everyone. Orchards of a Futile Heaven by Disfigure and The Body. Now, I have a hard time with collaborative albums, mainly because I normally listen to them for one person and then the other is kind of there for me, in my honest opinion. Insert boy genius here. But this album does not have that problem. This is not an album I feel like I kind of have to like because I like one artist, but then kind of don't like because of the other. This one is holistically good, in my opinion. Disfigure's singing brings a serenity that is almost necessary after listening to so much of the body's work, given how just horrific it is, if I'm going to be completely blunt. The body's made some of the most horrific and disgusting sounding music I think I've ever listened to, but they do it so well that you kind of want to keep listening to it, and then you're in this never-ending cycle of, God, this sounds like someone getting murdered too. Oh, but that sounds kind of nice. And Disfigure brings a level of calmness to it that, while not breaking from this endless cycle of assuming murder is happening somewhere, it allows it to kind of sit in you. It's a calmness. And I really enjoy that, given the fact that it is still the body. They do not make any kind of sacrifice for this album. They don't not sing, they don't not have their instrumentation. This is very much still a the body album, but Disfigure brings a serenity, a calmness, a peace to this album that I feel like is really really necessary, because they've had sections like this in their own singular album releases, but this is the first time that it's really felt like there are moments where the album's not trying to kill you. And I really appreciate that, because the body does not do that very well on their own. If I had to say there's one downside to listening to their music, I would say it's the fact that they feel like they're constantly trying to bludgeon you over the head. So having someone sound like Bjork, it's nice. And I don't know who Disfigure is. They sound like a very they sound like Bjork. I was trying to think of a funnier way to say that. They sound like Bjork. Whatever album she released in the 90s, they sound like that. And I'm very glad. I'm very glad, because the first thing I thought when I listened to one of the singles was, who is this? And then I listened to the whole album and I went, this might as well have been Bjork. And that's really nice, because, again, it adds such a new dynamic layer that the body gets to work with. And they, again, still don't sacrifice any of their original sounds. So you still get the manic screaming and singing. You still get the intense guitar and the intense drums. But you also get these really calm passages of just synth and drum, and it's so nice because they contrast perfectly, especially in the same song a lot of the time. The second to last track, Something Ka, it's probably the best example of this. The first half of the track is basically just Disfigure singing with some really nice instrumentation, and then the second Disfigure stops, it brings in the classic drum line that you typically hear in the body track, with the very harsh metallic drums. I don't think he's got his screaming in there, but like, it's the contrast of these emotional landscapes. And Disfigure does not sound like someone who's having a good time either. By the end of this track, they're like fucking wailing, but you know, it's a lot different, and that difference alone makes this album sound so much more holistic in a sense. Um, and yeah, it's a very low key vibe, given the fact that it's the body album, which I'm very happy about, because I don't know, if this was another 40-minute blister, I think I would have died a little. And I don't know. I don't know if this album is everything I wanted from it, but it's definitely more than I anticipated, given the couple of singles we got. The singles didn't really give me much of a vibe, other than like there's more electronic instrumental parts, but like, you could have just assumed that when it said electronic under the genre, so I didn't really care that much. But no, it does it in a much more holistic and a much more fulfilling way, I think is the word I would use. I feel more satisfied with the album as a holistic package than I did with a couple of singles before it came out. Um, I am missing the body. At time of recording, they're going to go on stage at the Gilman in about 40. I mean, well, they're not going to go on stage, but the show is about to start in like 40 minutes. Um, could I have gone to that show and not done this? Totally. Will I be okay? Yeah, yeah, I will. Cause getting there would be kind of a bitch right now. And yeah, this is probably another 7 plus in my opinion.